Hi, my name is Karla Young, and I am an art teacher at General Sherman Junior High. Having been born and raised in Lancaster, it was a real honor for me to be asked to participate in this year's Lancaster Festival. I know the festival looks a little differently this summer, but I'm happy to be a part of it, even a very small part of it, by creating some virtual art lessons for you to follow along with at home. If you stick with me for all 5 lessons, you are going to be taking a virtual trip around the world. We have 5 different art projects for you, and each one is from a different country. Every project here has been designed with a wide range of ages in mind so that you can simplify it, or you can challenge yourself and make the project a little more advanced if you're older. So hopefully there's something here for everyone. We have cherry blossom branches on Chinese lanterns. So this project is from Asia. So I hope that you enjoy this time with me, and we just need to get our passports ready for our virtual field trip. Pack your bags. And I almost forgot, I never fly without my travel pillow. Today we are going to visit Asia, and we are going to be making these cute little Chinese lanterns. And to decorate the lanterns, we are going to add some cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms originated in Asia. They are actually the national flower of Japan. They symbolize hope, renewal, and friendship. Japan has actually given the gift of the cherry blossom tree to many other countries. So the supplies that you're going to need for this project, you're going to need an 8.5 by 11 or a 9 by 12 piece of construction paper or cardstock. Any light color will do. You need a pencil. You're going to need either a black marker, a black crayon would work, a black colored pencil would work if you don't have a marker. You're going to need some pink paint. If you don't have pink paint, but you happen to have red and white, you can mix these together and make your own pink. If you don't have access to paint, you can just use a pink marker or a pink crayon. We're going to need some scissors. We're going to need some glue. Either glue bottle or glue stick is fine. A stapler might come in handy. And lastly, you are going to want, for some finishing touches on your lantern, you're going to want 3 strips of paper. These should measure 12 by 1 inch. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you're probably thinking is that it's going to be really hard to draw a cherry blossom branch, but I have a couple tricks that should make it easier for you. So you are going to start with your paper. You can actually turn it up and down. You can work horizontally. It's up to you. And I like to start on one side and think of making a letter Y. Everybody can make a letter Y, right? Then we're going to add another letter Y and another letter Y, and we just keep adding to our branches. All right, so you have something that might look like this. Again, there's no right or wrong way to draw a branch. Every branch looks different in nature. So now I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to trace over what I've done. Now, if you happen to be using a Sharpie at home, be really careful that you don't go off the page and write on the surface. You might want to take another sheet of paper and kind of tuck underneath as a placemat. Okay, now right now it still looks a little bit puny, so we need to thicken up our lines. So just take some time and give those lines some thickness. and start coloring them in. You can see it's starting to look more real the longer we work on this. Okay, this step may take you a little bit of time, but it'll be worth it. After you have finished your branch of your cherry blossom, this is the fun part. You get to add the blossoms themselves. So I've brought along a plate, but you could always just use a scrap paper. You will need some pink paint, and if you don't have pink, you can always mix your own using white and red. You're gonna just squirt out a little bit of paint. And if you're at home and you don't have paint, you can always use a pink marker or a pink crayon and color them. But if you have paint, it's kind of fun to use a fingertip and just start dotting up and down your branches and adding those cherry blossom flowers. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. If you get a blossom way out here, that's okay. Maybe some of those blossoms are just blowing off in the wind. So you can add as many blossoms or as little as you'd like. So once your paint from your cherry blossoms has dried, you are ready for the next step. As you can see from the two examples here, we have a strip of paper across the top, across the bottom, and one for a handle on our lantern. So that's where your strips of paper are going to come in handy. Again, these are 1 inch wide by 12 inches long. So you can use a glue stick or a glue bottle. I'm going to just run a line of glue across that top long edge. I'm going to run a line of glue along the bottom. You can use any color that you'd like. And it looks like this. The next step is I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold it in half. So really carefully line up those edges and crease your paper in half. We are folding this in half longwise, hot dog style, not hamburger style. Okay. Now this part is super important. You want to start, we're going to be cutting lines and stopping just before we reach this red strip or whatever color you used of paper. All right, and it's really important that you don't have your project upside down and start cutting on the open edge. It'll ruin everything. So make sure the fold of your project is at the bottom. All right, and then that's where you're going to start, and you're just going to cut up and stop right before you get to that strip of paper we just glued on. You can keep these about 1 inch apart. And try to keep them going straight up and down. almost to the end. All right. And then when we open it up, it looks like this. Okay, so now we're ready for our next step. We are going to turn this flat sheet of paper into a cylinder. Whoops, looks like I need to reattach my, whoops, reattach my strips. I think I'm going to try some glue bottle this time. See if that helps these stick. All right, I'll try that again. So you're going to take your flat piece of paper and you're going to connect the two ends and turn it into a cylinder to make a Chinese lantern. Now you can just overlap slightly. You can add glue, or you can just use a stapler. Whichever you have handy at home. All right, so there's our Chinese lantern, and it just needs one more thing. It needs a handle. So I can use the third piece, or I have some black strips over here, so maybe I'll change the color. Add a little dot of glue on each end, and I'm going to stick it inside my lantern. Just hold that for a few minutes until the glue sticks. And you're all finished. We would love to see the artwork that you've been creating with us, so please be sure to snap a picture of your work and post it to social media using the hashtag Lancaster Festival. Thanks, and we hope to see you next time.